All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome to my first ever episode of this podcast that I have not named yet. I'm thinking we're gonna run a podcast name competition in my Discord. I'm gonna put that link down below. Make sure you join that so you can get in on that action. Winner will probably get like a free sub to my Twitch or something, where I have the best emotes on Twitch. So, I got my plans laid out for this podcast. We are going to talk about a couple different things. So we're going to talk about me, who I am, my story, what got me into content, what type of content I want to be making moving forward, and where I came from. And then we're going to talk about the Vov3. I already know we're wearing the merch. We're going for Vov. RC starts November 5th. And then we're going to move on to movies and games that I'm excited for because I'm a big pop culture guy. And I just love those so much. Then we're going to talk about NFTs. I'm going to try to the best of my ability to explain them and not look like an absolute idiot. And then I'll also talk about some projects that I'm in and I'm excited about. Then we're going to move on to questions from you all. So if you're watching this over on YouTube or listening to this through audio on whatever platform, make sure you join the Discord to be able to ask me questions. And you can also ask me questions on Twitter or live on Twitch, because I'll be filming all of these live on Twitch. So we're going to start with who I am. So I'm LT the Third. That's how you pronounce it. LT the Third. A lot of people call it Lieutenant. It's fine. Whatever. Yeah, so I'm LT the Third. I'm a father. I'm a husband. I have a brother. Both of my parents live fairly close to me, so that's awesome for babysitting when I go to work. So I do work full time. I have a bachelor's degree in psychology, and I'm currently working towards a master's degree in applied behavior analysis. So I have a lot on my plate. I have a 1-year-old, a wife, need to spend time with both of them, take care of my son. And in the meantime, I'm also pursuing this career in content creation. So growing up, my entire life was centered around football. And if you've watched some of my previous YouTube videos, you've probably seen the My Story YouTube video where I actually show a clip of me playing football. So through high school, my summers were spent at football camps. Every other time was spent training, staying in shape, and playing football. Then I went to college to play football. Pretty awesome, right? Living the dream. Well, not really. I didn't like it that much. It wasn't fun. So I would get up 5 a.m., wake up call. Then we would go to breakfast. Then we would go to practice or work out. So they split us up in two groups because there's so many people. So split us up. You'd either go to practice or work out for 2 hours. Then you would switch, do that for 2 hours. Then you go to lunch. It's lunchtime around 12. Then you go from lunch to a team meeting. Then you go from that team meeting to an offense defense meeting or special teams meeting. Then you go from that meeting to a position meeting. And by the time the position meeting was over, it was time for dinner and then time for bed. It was 10 o'clock at night. So I played quarterback. Feel like I had a pretty good arm, make good decisions. I could run the ball, whatever. But I don't know. College ball was like, it's like a job that I wasn't getting paid for, and it just wasn't for me. So I met my wife in high school. We've been together for like 7 years now, I want to say, something like that. We've been married just over a year, and we had our son last year in August 14th. And just to give you an idea how big of a nerd I am, a big pop culture guy, like I said earlier, we named our son Barrett Allen. Think of what is short for Barrett. I call him Barry. His middle name is Allen. So Barry Allen, the Flash, my favorite superhero. Named my son after my favorite superhero, which my wife came up with the name. So, I just went with it because I was excited. I wanted to name him Barry Allen, but she said Barrett, and I said, you know what? Let's do it. Let's go for it. That was the hardest part, picking out a name. Oh my gosh. We could not decide on a name together. And then we finally agreed. So happy. So currently, I mentioned I work full time. I work full time at a ABA company, so applied behavior analysis company. We provide ABA therapy to children with autism. So I work with kids on the spectrum and pretty much trying to help them live a better life, teach them life skills, teach them socially acceptable skills, living skills. So increase good behaviors, decrease bad behaviors like physical aggression and property destruction, things like that. I absolutely love it. I am so happy that my job provides me purpose. Um, I just I couldn't imagine doing something else other than that or content creation. So that's why I'm pursuing content creation. I would love nothing more than being able to stay home and watch my son grow up and not miss a single minute of it, just by me being a streamer or content creator. So that's my dream, really. And I want to set an example for my son to just always follow your dreams, even if some of the most important people in life don't support you. I want my son to follow his dreams. So I gotta set that example and follow mine. I feel like that gives you all a pretty good idea of who I am, and the kind of grind I'm on. It's very time consuming. Between sessions at work, I'm working on schoolwork. Any free time I get at home, I'm editing, making videos, like doing TikTok. I'm streaming, whatever it is. And if I still have homework, I have to do that, take care of my son. It's a lot. It's so much. But I would not have it any other way unless I got to do this full time. And then I would absolutely have it that way. But so we'll move on. When it comes to streaming and content creation, I have this idea in my head of like what I want long term. And I think I've found an organization that really meshes well with that idea. It's Vov. If you guys have seen Vov, uh, to dare, to risk, to venture, that motto is something I've always lived by. And I'm happy now that sports are over. I'm in this side of things. I'm in content creation and putting myself out there to be made fun of constantly, as you guys do. Um, Vove, it's a big family atmosphere, and they're building a culture. I said this in one of the grinder chats. They're building a culture, and as long as I keep doing my thing, I focus on my content, make my content better. If Vove thinks that I mesh well with their mission, and the culture they're building, and my content is good, and I'm staying true to who I am, that's where I want to be. If they don't think I'm gonna mesh well with them, hey, they gotta do what's best for their brand, and I gotta do what's best for mine. But I really think I do mesh well with them, so that's why I'm going for the Vov3. And my strategy is just I'm gonna produce content that I would normally produce anyways. I'm using this to kind of excel my content creation into the future. We just did the rebrand. You can see the logo there. We did everything. We're taking this so seriously. We're doing weekly uploads on YouTube. We're starting this podcast, so thank you all for watching it. And then I also started a new TikTok. The gaming TikTok area is like so saturated, and I just figured this out. And I'm making more TikToks surrounding like movies and like reactions, games I'm excited for to come out, pop culture stuff that I'm really passionate about and always have been. And that's doing really well. I'm uploading at least one TikTok a day. I try to. Um, and I do all my editing by myself. I don't have an editor. I use all the money that I make from Twitch. So when you guys sub or donate bits, all that goes back into the channel. So you all paid for this rebrand, and I really, really appreciate that. And it's something I want to do. Vove. I'm not looking at Vove as like a platform to put me on and push me out to more people. I'm seeing it as like a family like you all are part of my family. I consider you part of my family. You're supporting this dream of mine. I consider them like family too because they're so close to each other, and the content they make is good. I'm honestly a fan first, so I'll always be a fan of Vov. I'll always have their merch. I'll continue to buy their merch, even if I didn't get in the RC or if I ever get picked up from Vov or by Vov. I'm always gonna be there and supporting. And I think that is something I've been missing with organizations is that I've never really been a fan. I'm a fan of TNA, but TNA, like I said earlier, I don't mesh. I don't mesh with what they're doing. That's fine. But Vov, I feel like I do. I really do. And I'm grinding super hard to to prove that I do. But also, it's not just to join Vov. It's to make the content better and hopefully entertain you all. So, moving on from entertaining you all, talk about things that I am excited for that are going to entertain me. So first of all, pretty obvious one, Spider-Man No Way Home. Oh my god. I cannot wait for this movie. Apparently, it's like the end of the MCU Spider-Man trilogy. And honestly, I think, here's my theory. I think it's the end of Tobey Maguire. I think this is where he dies as Spider-Man. I couldn't think of a more heartfelt moment than Tobey Maguire's Peter Parker being Uncle Ben from Tom Holland's universe, from the MCU, and Tom Holland having to experience Uncle Ben's death twice, and then could also provide us the opportunity to hear, "With great power comes great responsibility," for the very first time in the MCU. That would be huge. Moving on from Spider-Man, for obvious reasons, a lot of the DC projects I'm really excited for next year. So the games, Gotham Knights, I don't expect to be streaming these because they're not really in my niche of what I stream and make content about. So I might make a video or something about them, but don't expect like a bunch of streams of them. So the Gotham Knights looks really fun. Like the Arkham series, I love that. And then the Justice League kills, or no, the Suicide Squad kills Justice League. That looks very fun. I'm really interested to see how that game goes. I love Harley Quinn, so I'll have to play as her, and Deadshot. I'm excited to see those in the game, and I want to see a gameplay trailer soon, hopefully. And then there's some obvious ones like the Batman movie is gonna be sick. It's gonna hopefully set up the DC universe like the MCU has, like Marvel, moving forward. Which, from what critics have said so far, it's looking good. It's looking good. I'm really excited. Shazam 2. I loved the first one. I thought it was hilarious, and I think it fit the character really well. Black Adam. I'm really excited for. I want to see more of a trailer. But The Rock looks phenomenal. Aquaman 2, obviously. I love Aquaman. Well, I love Jason Momoa as Aquaman. Yeah, who doesn't, Yeah, and I think those movies, and then Doctor Strange, like, this is, like, moving forward into more later. But, yeah, Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness is going to be sweet. Now I'm really excited for the Star Wars projects. If any of you are on my Discord, I'm a huge Star Wars nerd. I love it so much. I'm a big fan of the sequels, but everybody has their own stroke, I guess. Stroke? I don't know. But we've got the Book of Boba Fett, which I just put out a reaction to the trailer on my TikTok called LT the Super. So search that on TikTok. I'm making like fan theories, stuff like that on there, reactions to some of the trailers. So we got Book of Boba Fett, which is gonna be awesome. Then we got the one that I'm super excited for, possibly the most excited for, is Kenobi. Oh my gosh, it's gonna be so good. Hayden coming back as Anakin. I'm drooling. I'm drooling. And then Ahsoka, Hayden again coming back as Anakin, as Vader. I feel like this is all leading up to a Vader series, which I'm 100% for. Please give us that. Please give us that. It sounds amazing. Uh, and as far as Star Wars goes, I don't know what else they have planned. Mandalorian season 3, I'm excited for. We don't know anything about that really. I have a feeling it's gonna be a time jump, and then they're gonna do like something where they try to retake Mandalore. Um, and then Bo Katan was gonna probably take the dark saber from Mando, but we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. I don't know. I'm excited though. I want to see. I want to see more of Luke. Uh, post post Return of the Jedi because he's super powerful and it's awesome. Think, and then obviously the game I'm most excited about coming out this month is Battlefield. You're gonna see a lot of that on stream and probably a lot of videos on that because I love Battlefield. Always have. It's one of the games that made me fall in love with FPS games, first person shooters. I'm really looking forward to it. I think Hazard one's gonna be sweet. It's like Escape from Tarkov mixed with a battle royale. It's gonna be awesome. So I think let me think on it. I think that's all that I'm excited about, really. Am I missing anything? Chat? Anybody in chat? Um, I mean, I would love to know what you all are excited about. Games, movies, doesn't matter. TV shows. If you don't, oh, by the way, if you don't watch Titans on HBO Max from DC, watch it, please. Watch it. It's dark. It's super dark. I love it so much. Um, but I think we can move on to NFTs. So non-fungible tokens. Think of them as like digital art that has utility. By utility, I mean like the communities or the developers of certain projects, especially like when I'm in Soldiers of the Metaverse. Shout out to my Meta Army. Uh, if you own these, you're gonna have access to the game that they're developing, and it's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be like Mortal Kombat, but using the Soldiers of the Metaverse NFTs to fight. It's gonna be super cool. Some other NFTs have play to earn games where you can like earn Ethereum or whatever blockchain they're on. Make some money. Make some money. I'm really excited for the future of NFTs. I really think they're gonna be so culturally relevant and important. It's gonna be like having a blue check on Twitter, as Gary Vee would put it. I love Gary Vee. He got me into this stuff. And this is NFTs are also like a part of my grind moving forward in life. Which I actually think we have a question from one of you all about my plans or where I see myself. So NFTs, I really think for me is gonna be life changing. I think that I'll possibly be able to pay off my student loans, pay off my car, pay off all my debt, and just live life to the fullest. I'm really excited. Financial freedom, baby. That's what everybody talks about. Financial freedom. And then there's also like NFTs are. It's so young. It's so young. You can get in. I know gas prices right now are crazy. When I say gas, I mean like just think of it as like a fee for transferring Ethereum, which is what I'm on, which is what I use anyways, for OpenSea. And I'll put a link to the projects I'm most excited about, like Soldiers of the Metaverse, down below in the description over on YouTube. So definitely get in early if you got the money. Do not buy into NFT if you do not have the money to lose. Just in case everything went south. With Soldiers of the Metaverse, I don't expect it to because it's awesome. The community's great. The developers are insane. We're getting ready to have our token come out, ammo, and we'll be able to spin that. It's gonna, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. And then another one I'm kind of excited about, Space Boys. It's called Space Boys NFT. I'll put a link to those in the description as well. They just finished their initial roadmap, so they're still developing a new one, but it's pretty cool. It's pretty awesome. Their game, like they have like these little scavenger hunts or quiz nights, whatever. You can win NFTs from. And the new roadmap, I think, is going to be just as good as the first one. And the first one was pretty good. The first one came with companions, so like you could mint aliens, these little aliens that go with your space boys. Pretty interesting. I I'm excited to see that roadmap. Let me think of some other projects. So there are a couple projects that I want to get into, and I don't know too much about them, so I'll just mention them. And it's mostly for the art. Um, called Wanderers. I don't know. You all might have seen it if you have some NFT stuff pop up on your Twitter feed, or wherever you're watching, or TikTok, whatever. Um, they're pretty cool. Pretty cool little, like, almost like gifs. They have like sounds that go with them, and it's like flying through space. It's very cool. I really like those because I want to use that to like put on my stream so you guys can watch it on the Be Right Back screen, and it's like mesmerizing. And then there's Secret Society of Whales. Pretty cool. The floor was rising, but then these gas price Ethereum went crazy, so gas prices went way up, like $300. So the floors dropped a little bit, but they got good stuff. A lot of these projects also donate to charity, like not small amounts of money, like $10,000 or more. They'll donate to charities of the community's choice. So when you buy one of these, you're buying your way into the community, and you have a say in these things. It's awesome. It's really really fascinating and interesting. Not to mention CryptoPunks, which are like, I'm sure everybody's heard about CryptoPunks. They're like the most popular thing ever for NFTs right now. I don't know why. I don't think they're that cool, but they're selling for like hundreds of millions of dollars. It's crazy. It's absolutely bonkers to me how how much they're selling for. Um, so I think right now, off the top of my head, those are the NFTs I'm most excited about. There's some other ones that we're gonna have to wait and see what happens whenever they launch. The key with NFTs really is to get on them early, see if you can mint. By mint, I mean like you be the first one to buy it, and then it gets revealed to you. Like you don't even know what it looks like. You just buy one, and it's random, and you get to see it. I've done that once, and I made pretty good profit when I sold it, and I'm appreciative of the Axel Little's community for that. Uh, I mean, there's some cool ones coming up. Spacewalkers, pretty awesome. Um, Art Wars. Art Wars has a super expensive mint, but it's for good reason because it's a world renowned artist that has developed these. They basically paint like stormtroopers helmets, and it looks awesome. It really does. I hope I can have. I hope I can sell one of my NFTs for enough money to buy one of those because it's awesome. They recently did a live stream on the Discord with the person who wrote Return of the Jedi, the novel. So they're like in with Star Wars. It's awesome. And then going back to Soldiers of the Metaverse, which is the one I'm most excited for currently, moving forward, as far as utility goes. They just on Halloween they just had a billboard in Times Square in New York City, which was super cool for Halloween. Then we got plans for more advertising. Lots of different stuff going on with that. We're gonna get like some motorcycles or something for our NFTs. It's gonna be sweet. And the artist is pretty nice. The art looks amazing. It's like super realistic, and the artist has worked for Marvel, DC, Star Wars, like Power Rangers, a lot of really famous things. So his art is top of the line. It's great. I'm really I'm excited for the direction that this NFT's headed, that project. So with that, I think those are the NFTs that I'm happy with. I'm excited for. Um, yeah, I think now probably my favorite part of the podcasts of anybody's podcast, especially mine. I'm going to answer some questions from you all. So if you are in chat right now and you have a question that you haven't asked on Discord or Twitter, feel free to plop a question in chat and I will get to it as soon as I answer the questions that were asked in Discord and on Twitter for this. So the first question comes from your average school nerd, me. I'm a school nerd. Who's your biggest inspiration in life? It's a deep question. I like that. That's a good question. Um, Aside from like typical answers like my parents, who instilled all the values that I have in me and like raised me to be who I am. Um, Aside from the obvious answer, gosh, I would have to like. I don't know that the biggest inspiration to me is a real person. Honestly, more like a character or an ideology. So what I mean by that is like Superman is what I'm thinking in my head. Uh, I love everything Superman stands for. Truth, justice, the American way. It's that is something that I'm constantly in search of. I'm always in search for truth. I want to be truthful and be honest. And justice is really important to me. And then just the American way of life. I love my country, so I love it here. I think our way of life is top of the line, top shelf. Stuff you can only buy with an ID. The at the liquor store, it's behind the counter. You know. So, um, next question from Tripp. We got 3 questions from Tripp on Discord. Tripp's a cool guy. Go check out his content as well. So how did I come up with my name? I was waiting for someone to answer that. So my real name, ladies and gentlemen, you ready for this? About to find out my real name, what I go by everyday life, what my friends call me, what family calls me, what strangers on the street call me. My real name is Tony. I so in high school, my best friend, my best friend from high school, he his mom was like my second mom. Like me and him, we were born 9 days apart. Our moms were best friends in high school, and then we were best friends our entire life, even till now. We still hang out, we still talk, everything. We're like brothers basically. She wanted when I got in high school and I was playing football and basketball, and I was decent at being recruited by colleges to play both sports. She wanted to call me something, and she came up with LT3. So the L comes from everybody calls me Little Tony because my dad is also Tony, and the 3 comes from my dad being Tony and my dad's dad being Tony. So I'm the third. So I'm LT the third. That's where I got my name. That is where I got my name. um, Favorite game of all time. That one's tough. That's a really difficult question, Tripp. My favorite game of all time. I'll have to think on that one. Holy crap. Really good question. Um, so my favorite game, I don't know if I can pick. I'll tell you a couple that I really love. So both of the Spider-Man games for PS4 and PS5, the most recent ones, Marvel Spider-Man, phenomenal games, absolutely phenomenal. I would say closer to the top for my number one would be Detroit Become Human, because I love really good story games, but I don't really play them on stream because I don't feel like my reactions are good enough for those. But Detroit Become Human had one of the best storylines I've ever played. I love games where your choices really matter and it changes the story. So Detroit Become Human is phenomenal. If you haven't played it, go play it. It's on PlayStation. I think it's on PC now, actually. Check that game out. Unbelievable. Multiple endings, different routes you can go. Really great. And then there's also, like, for nostalgic reasons, Red Alert, if you guys ever played that. There's Modern Warfare 2, Black Ops 2, World at War, Call of Duty games, Battlefield game, Bad Company. It's really hard to pick. I have so many favorites. I love all of them so much. Um, So favorite console of all time, also from Tripp. My favorite console, if we're just talking about console, PC Master Race. But if we're talking about console, PS5. Easy. If we're saying, if we're going with nostalgic reasons, like away from the more technical side of things and the games, um, Xbox 360 for sure. That was like me fourth grade, fourth, fifth, sixth grade. Xbox 360. After practice, go home, hop on Modern Warfare 2 with my friends from school. Quick scope battles, all that stuff. So nostalgic reasons, Xbox 360. Technical and gameplay wise, PS5. Controller's awesome. Okay. So the next question comes from Twitter, from Froxty, my guy Froxty. Also makes content. Go check that out. Where do I see myself in 1 to 2 years? So this for me is considered short term. Anything under 10 years for me is short term. I would say 1 2 years I'll be finished with my master's degree. But I really hope to have grown the YouTube channel, TikTok, Twitch, and join Team Vov. I hope to be more into content and then start developing a team around me, like I've already started actually with Bry becoming my first mod, who's pretty consistent. I'm excited to grow that team that's so close knit that we have monthly meetings and get down to business. So that's probably 1 to 2 years where I'm seeing myself. I'm not gonna set a goal for numbers, because I don't really care all that much. I just want to see growth, so I can justify continuing this because I love it so much. Young Dobbs, how did I come across Team Vov? So this is interesting. TikTok. I was scrolling through, on my gaming TikTok, scrolling through, just looking. I had just came off of the TNA RC. If you don't know who TNA is, Team New Age, go check them out. They make awesome content, pretty similar to Vov, but they're more centered around Fortnite, which I don't like Fortnite all that much. Really big team. They have, they have their own house and they make content there at the content house. And they had this big RC. It had over 4,000 submissions. I made the top 100 in that. So it was pretty exciting. But then I didn't make top 50. Pretty disappointed in that, honestly. But, it is what it is. Looking back at it, I don't mesh well. My content, anyways, doesn't mesh into what that team is building around Fortnite. So it's understandable. I understand that. I'm still a fan. I still wear their hoodies and stuff, But I just came off of that. I seen Team Vov. I seen DeHirsch pop up on my For You page, on the Team Vov channel. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I kind of scrolled past it. Then I seen it again a couple days later, and I was like, oh, well, maybe it's a sign. I'm seeing this team twice. Maybe I should look into them. So I started watching their content, and I was like, wow, that's like, that meshes really well with what I'm doing. And I started like watching Hirsch's stream. I started watching Bank stream and Clean, just a couple different people that are in Vov. And I started watching some of their YouTube videos, and I was like, oh, I really like these people. I really enjoy their content. I think it fits really well with what I'm doing. Maybe this family is something I could be a part of. So I started grinding. What do you know? Month or two later, after I started grinding for Vov, they get verified on Twitter. I'm like, yo, this team's headed in the right direction. They got a good team. They got a really good team. They picked up Sooner for like the back end stuff, which is a phenomenal pickup, by the way. Sooner, if you ever watch this, you're great at what you do. But yeah, and they're like limited time merch drops are so unique and cool. Like this, you're never gonna be able to buy this shirt again. Never. It's fantastic. And then moving on from that is that they do like meetups and stuff for like TwitchCon, or they'll go to like, Minnesota and hang out like they did this weekend. Bank, Keeley, Freak, and Hirsch were all together hanging out. They went to a Vikings game and a Wolves game. That's what I'm talking about. That's family. That's what I'm trying to be part of. It's a culture you got to build, and they're doing it right. It's organic. You don't see that a lot these days. So many people trying to start teams and they just fail. So that's how I came across Vov, and that's why I want to be a part of what they're doing. Do we have any more questions that need to be answered or want to be answered? If not, that's going to be the end of the podcast. So I'll give you all a few more minutes to ask some questions. Young Dobbs, what content am I going to be providing? You have to wait and see. You'll have to wait and see. I'm more than down to if I were to be picked up with Vov, if Vov picked me up after the RC or before the RC, Vov, you you can expect me to be all in for it. Like if you need me to do a video or something to be part of it, I'll be in it. This will not be my first RC. It'll be my first RC with Vov. Young Dobbs asked if this will be my first RC with Vov. Yes. In general, no. I've been doing content for over 3 years now, still grinding. So it's interesting. This will not be my first RC though, and I'm learning from my past RCs. Ones I didn't get in, ones I did get in. Yeah, I'm taking all that knowledge into this one. So I'm excited. I'm really excited. You just have to wait and see though. You have to wait and see. I've posted teasers on my Instagram for what you can expect possibly this coming weekend. You're gonna get to know me more personally in my videos for sure. I'm excited. I cannot wait. So, are there any more questions? I'm down to provide advice for content, anything. Have I built any friendships with anyone in the community? Absolutely. Absolutely, I have. That is what made me continue streaming. So, I didn't mention this earlier, but when I started streaming, my goal was to be a professional Overwatch player. And I was really good at Overwatch. That's the only game I'll tell you that I'm like super good at is Overwatch. And then I played in a LAN tournament for Overwatch after streaming for, a month or two. And it was terrible. It was cool. Like the idea, like the crowd being there and stuff was awesome. And it wasn't like I'm not saying I was up on a main stage or something playing. I was at like this Microsoft Center or something at a mall in Cincinnati. But there was still a crowd, good sized crowd. It was a lot of fun. But I fell in love with the community aspect of streaming and content creation. And when I first experienced the competitive scene, I was like, nah, this ain't it. This is just not streaming. This is not content creation. I want to build a community, so that's what I'm doing. I'm building a family. And I've made so many friendships. Holy crap. So just shout out a couple. Eddie, who's in chat right now. Met him on Battlefront 2. I clapped his cheeks in that game. I've met people through teams, crafters. Some people that I have been with, they just, I don't know, they just stopped doing it. I don't necessarily have a set group of people I play with all the time. My guy Zach, I would consider him a really good friend. We met through a team, but we've continued playing together even after we both left. It's all about connections, man. I always try to make connections through gaming, streaming, content creation, also in real life. Always try to make the best connections you can. Don't ever burn a bridge. I'm telling you, don't do it. Don't ever do it. But I'm up to offer advice on streaming, content creation, life, school, whatever it is. You can always ask me. You can also always DM me, private message me on any platform, and I'll be more than happy to talk with you for a while or if you really need it, I can hop in a Discord call with you. I've done that a couple times. How do we stay consistent on content? So this is something I'm also struggling with. I don't know that, you know, without having a big team around you to keep you in check. That is Eddie, by the way, is the one that asked this question for those of you watching on YouTube. Um, Eddie said, "How do we stay consistent with content?" Just you got to try to hold yourself accountable whenever you don't have a strong team around you. Luckily, I picked up Fry to be my moderator on Twitch. He's pretty good about keeping me on it. If you have someone that you can count on to keep you on top of things, definitely always go to that person. Be like, "Hey, I don't feel like doing this right now." And if they're good, they're gonna yell at you. But I think where I see a lot of people struggling with consistency is that they still don't quite understand what they want out of it. So for me, I'm just figuring that out. So now I'm being more consistent. Uploading on YouTube every week on every Saturday around noon, 1 o'clock. I'm getting the groove. You just gotta figure out what you want, go for it. Anytime you start to like kind of backtrack and be like, "Oh well, I don't really have time for this," or you always got time. You always got time. Make time. I film videos on Saturdays when my wife is at work and I'm watching my son. I film my videos on Saturday while my son is asleep in his crib. And then I edit my videos while he's asleep. Or I edit my videos between sessions at work. I'll sit in my car before a session and be editing or filming a TikTok. You always got time. You just got to make time. It's so important. Just keep yourself, just like figure out what you want. And whenever you're backtracking, remember what you want. And then the only way to get that is that consistency. So go for it. So we have any more questions? Any more questions? How do I balance my career with my content? That's a good question. This is also from Eddie on Twitch. Balancing my career and content is pretty difficult at times. But I do what I can when I can. So this goes back to making time. And there are some sacrifices to it. I'm not gonna lie. Like sometimes I'm up here filming a video while my wife is downstairs by herself watching a TV show or talking to whoever on the phone. When I could be spending time with her, I make some sacrifice because this is what I want. This is what I want for my family, and this is how I want to provide for them. In the end, but my career is also important to me because it's really impactful, and I feel like I make an impact on kids' lives and hopefully make them better. So it's just going into every day. I take every day one at a time, and then any little moment I have, I take to write down ideas for videos or look up things or interact with you all in Discord. That'll be like those random text messages or messages on Discord you guys get sometimes where I'm like, "Hey, what's up?" That's me making time for you all. It's difficult, man. I'm not gonna lie. Not everybody can do it. I mean, if they could, everybody would do it. You just gotta make some sacrifices and uh, make sure you're doing what you gotta do. Are there other questions? For those of you over on YouTube watching this, please feel free. Next time, we'll probably film this every first Tuesday of every month. So you can get over there and ask me questions live, like they are right now. Eddie asks, "Do I expect anything big for myself in the coming years?" No, not really. I assume this is pertaining to like content or like blowing up and making it big. No, I don't. I never expect that. I'm happy that you all are here, and I just want to be a role model for as many people as possible, even if it's just one person. I'm happy. Um, Now, as far as personally, I mean, I expect some big things. I expect to be a better father, better husband, um, better brother, better son. All those things. Grow as an individual in my career, in my personal life. So I think that might be it. Are there any other questions, real quick, before I sign off? All right, last question. That was it. So thank you all so much for watching. Make sure you hit the subscribe button if you're over on Twitch. Also hit the subscribe button. Twitch Prime. I got the best emotes on Twitch, no doubt. Anyways, go over to Twitch. Follow me there if you're watching this on YouTube. You can follow me on Instagram. Check all the links in the description. Take you there. Super easy. I really appreciate you all and have an awesome day. Peace.